Welcome to Black Love Matters, where this serves as a therapy session for figuring out adulthood.
Loving each other.
We'll find our inner Brock and Michelle.
We're Jay-Z and Beyonce. Or this episode, we're going to go with Bobby McCrae and Linda McCrae. Y'all know this is the son of Anti McCrae from the Central Park 5. Y'all already know we watched the movie When They See Us, and we're going to dive into it, so don't even worry about it. But I just wanted to take a step and highlight, like, their love. Right. So the mother and the father, you know, going through the situation with their son and how like the mother handled it and the father left it. And more, not only that, right. Spoiler alert. The father actually stepped away. Well, the father, you know, had guilt around how he told his son, Anti McCrae, to handle the situation. Antron McCrae. What did I say? Antoine.
Yeah.
My bad. Handled the situation, right? So he was having some resentment and guilt and all that around that. But the father actually left, then came back. And when the father came back, the mother, his wife welcomed him with open arms. And, you know, if you've seen When They See Us, you can see Antron was like, I don't get it. Right? I don't know why you did. And eventually, you know, they come to terms and make their peace. But that's to be said something about Black love, right? She kept going back to say, I made this vow to this man in sickness and health and rich or poor, good or bad, right? And Antron just couldn't see, like, well, he left us. Right? There was no reason for him to leave us.
Right.
Because I even feel sometimes Antron's feelings against him, like I don't think he ever blamed his dad till he kind of left. Like,
yeah.
Well, I did what you said, but, you know, I still love you, right? But when you're not showing up to my trial, you're not coming to see about me. That's what I feel like he was resentful of, not because of the advice or what he forced his son or, you know, strongly encouraged his son to say. I never got that vibe, right? And now that he's older, he put some shit together to be like, what the fuck? But in that moment,
right,
I don't think he was ever upset about that, right? He just wanted his dad.
Yeah.
I think that was the overall theme of When They See Us. Like, they just wanted their parents. They were kids. That's the thing.
Yeah.
What you got to say about their love, Nero?
Yeah, I agree with what you said. But yeah, it really just comes down to, hell, I think it's just what all boys want. They just want the love and attention from their father.
Yeah, right? Like, and he couldn't, you know, because he was dealing with his own stuff. Like, he had unprocessed stuff that he was dealing with, right? Because he had his own guilt.
Right.
And he didn't have the appropriate outlet to go to someone, his maker, another sounding board to say, I did this and I messed up. Even if he wanted to apologize to his son. Right, to say, I'm sorry for having you do this, right? I don't even remember seeing that in the movie, right?
No.
For just simply saying, I'm sorry, I led you the wrong way, right? Like, what? It was deep, y'all. Anyway, who is you?
I'm Nero.
And I'm Nyambi.
And this is episode 254, y'all.
Hey, happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Be sure to leave a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-star rating review on Apple Podcasts and on Stitcher. And follow us on all forms of social media at Black Love Matters. That's Black with no K. What's going on with you, babe?
Nothing much, y'all. The weekend is flying by. And I have no idea how or why. This is the first Sunday, especially, was the first day I feel like it got warm in our house. Like, I feel like I cooked food, I turned on the oven, the dishwasher was going, and I'm like, oh, what's it look like? I could go with a couple fans or a little piece of air just to knock the heat off the house. So that was a little strange to deal with. What you think, Nero?
Yeah, it was a little hot in here.
But again, not sweating. Like, I done had much hotter summers in Detroit, where it's hotter on the inside than the outside, like, and everything's melting. Like, it's not there, but it's like, you know when you put on a blanket or a sheet and you get warm in the middle of the night?
Yes.
That's what it feels like. So nothing dire, but it's just like, oh, I needed to be like 5 degrees cooler.
I don't know what you're going to do when the summer hit and you got that weighted blanket.
I ain't going to be able to do it. Do they got a breathable weighted blanket?
I don't know.
Because I think that's what be keeping me up sometimes. It might be the heat from the weighted blanket. So weird. But what did we do this weekend? Anything eventful? Oh, we went to go see Ma, y'all. M.A. with Octavia Butler. First of all, Niram was, I think I told you on a previous episode, Niram was texting me talking about Ma this weekend. And I thought he was like trying to be like Dipset them niggas from New York. You know, the people from New York like, hey, Ma, Poppy, you know. And I'm like, so are we doing this now? Like, you know, I'm not a fan of when I only have one father, right? I'm not a mother, right? I'm very particular about certain pronouns you assign me. And Ma is not one that I appreciate. Ma, I can do a babe or a baby, right? But I rather do that with just us around. But I am not a fan of a grown man calling me Ma or me calling a grown man daddy. I'm not even a fan of Zaddy. And I know Zaddy mean he got them Zalas, but I don't. Let me never say never. I just say I'm not a fan. Because I'm there and come about something. If I get on here talking about Zaddy, I know y'all going to be like, pull up 254. At 4 minutes or whatever seconds Nayam said. But I'm not a fan of that. Are you a fan of that, Nero? The mama and daddy?
Nah.
It's weird, right? I have a father.
The only way it gives me joy is when the Neelys used to do it.
No, they used to get on my nerves with that. Hey, no, what did they say? He called her my spice princess. Hey, mama. Oh, Big Daddy. I'm like, oh my God, these niggas is on television. Losing their mind. And like, I think the first time we all seen it was like, oh, this is endearing. But we be like, wait, 200 episodes later, y'all still talk about this mama daddy shit. Season on pork chops. Come on. Gina? Her name Gina.
Yeah. Pat.
I'm still recovering from their divorce.
They ain't been right. Let me
It ain't
Google
felt
them.
right since.
Are they back together yet?
No, they ain't back. Did you see that wife swap episode?
Yes.
I know they weren't getting back together after that because so much damage was undone. The daughter, the husband, and the wife, they all went to separate rooms and shit. Gina was like, I don't cook dinner. I was like, Gina, your whole life is cooked. Like, Gina and Pat, y'all have made an empire.
No, they ain't. Gina has not talked to Pat since their divorce.
It ended something rough. I think they also were high school sweethearts.
These
too.
YouTube, the shady untold truth of the Neelys.
I'm not sure if it's shady or untold. I think they just fell out of love and they had to do what's best for themselves. It ain't nothing shady or untrue about that. What now?
This shit. Pat Neely on why he kept his wife.
Oh, he had a baby. We're not.
What the fuck is
focus.
going on?
That's what Gina said.
This is why.
This is what Gina said. She said.
This is why you don't Google nobody.
This don't got to be true. You're right. You can put whatever the hell you want. Google like Wikipedia. You just got it. No, it take Google police a long time to come fact check that, and you got to tell Google police I think this wrong.
This is why you don't Google nobody names.
But anyway, I still like the Neelys. I got numerous of their cookbooks. Their corn chowder is hitting and a few other things. But anyway, what I said, I was talking about Ma. Y'all go see Ma with Octavia Butler serving as your everyday sociopath auntie. I loved it. Mm-hmm. I mean, never could be set in Negro settings. This couldn't be set in Cleveland or Detroit, but I loved it.
It was set in bumfuck. Actually, baby, Spencer, not Butler.
Oh, Lord, I'm talking about Kendrick. You know the author.
Yes,
she's been on my mind actually. Shout out to, if y'all don't know who Octavia Butler is, go ahead and Google it. Actually, don't Google her. Go ahead and get her book Kindred. It's a classic. But Octavia Spencer played the hell out of. I'm sorry, I'm clapping. Of Ma. Like I said, it couldn't take place with the blacks because as we all agreed in the black community, when the scene came on and them children asked her to buy liquor, what black auntie gonna be like, oh yeah,
I go get that.
Nah, like from that scene I knew she was a sociopath. And I don't know why that black boy didn't pick up on that.
Because he been by all those white hands.
Maybe he been touched by the white hands. Maybe if it was a black Uncle Mike could do it. You could talk in maybe a black uncle to do it. Maybe.
For the right price, you can talk near him to do it.
No, you cannot.
For the right price.
But a black uncle, you might be. But an auntie,
$500.
unless you turn 21 in 12 hours... Right, like your birthday is the next day, less than 12 hours. She might do it then if she trusts you, and then that's the fact. She gonna take it back to her house, have it on her kitchen table, and wait till the clock strike midnight and say, "Now this is yours." Right, but so that's when it would have lost me in that. But I was all for it.
The thing is,
I don't want to ruin too much for the folks. I mean, y'all kind of got it though, right? Like it's like more of a slasher movie. Like it's a revenge horror movie. Mm-hmm. I won't give away some of the other plot lines.
Because the thing is, it's the plot twist. Like y'all probably already got it.
Yeah, whatever you think it is, but there's some other plot twist in it.
But there's a one hell of a plot twist that y'all ain't gonna get until y'all get, and y'all be like, oh,
ooh, shit! It get dark. It get dark quick too.
Real quick.
Ooh, I wanted to talk about Old Girl, but I can't talk about it. I think that's gonna give it away. But what I will say, high level with mine. It should be a fucking cult classic. So any of those other horror movies we be watching and be like yelling at the screen, so Saws and all them and Final Destination, I absolutely would put mine there because there's something about like one of the people, the biggest caretakers, not only in our community, but I think in America are black middle-aged women who are a little thicker, right? Like she fits the stereotype of the mammy, right?
Right.
So supposed to be the safest figure that you can go to and just lay your head on their breast for safety. Having that flip to be like, this bitch will fucking kill you and sew your fucking mouth shut is terrifying. Who do you trust?
Nobody.
It's a metaphor for America.
Mm-hmm.
So I think just that alone, letting that sink in, because I think about my aunties. Mm-hmm. Right? Imagine if my aunties went tick, tick, boom, boom in their basement. Now it make me want to like knock on the doors twice of their house. The basement, anybody down there? Hello? I ain't gonna say they ain't gonna get me, but I called the police. It was something to that I was like, well, Octavia's a beast, but well done, Octavia. Meanwhile, she got them big eyes. She gonna be bugging them eyes the whole movie. She gonna be skinning and grinning. It's good.
It is.
Also, what I would say about it is, I think you already get the plot line, this revenge horror. People will make you lose your motherfucking mind. And the older I get, the little piece of life that I live, as I get into my deeper 30s, some of the shit, like, they be like, can you believe this person went crazy on their coworkers?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you believe these people went crazy on their high school people?
Yes.
Yeah. Again, I'm not taking up for her or nobody else, right, who've done these things, right? You got to go to a therapist, seek Jesus, do meditation, yoga, right? You can't let nobody catch you off your square like that. But can I believe people go ticky-ticky? I'm very surprised none of these families in the Central Park 5 didn't go ticky-ticky fucking boom, right? Like, it's something to that, and we don't talk about that in the community. Mm-hmm. I can see how people will lose their shit if you keep trying. You keep poking that bear, see what happens. Right? Especially when it comes to the stuff she going through, or these people at your job. Be careful talking how you talk to people at your job. Be careful what you do and don't say.
Be careful what you say to me. But
y'all go see it. It was good. You already know what's back. Fits My Life back. Iyanla is back at the shit. And I don't know for y'all who been watching it, right? Y'all remember them brothers with that older sister and with that mama who looked like Frankie?
Yes.
And that daddy. They back for part 3.
What?
Well, they did 2 before. Yeah. But part 3 is now all the brothers and the sister. They basically hating each other.
Again.
Yeah, y'all remember the episode we talked about with the older brother? He a little slow and he ain't really realized he was slow until he was older. And Iyanla was like, ain't nobody told him he was slow? That's basically what she said. Ain't get this boy no help.
Nope.
No support.
Nothing.
Then help him with his narrative.
Nope.
Right? Why he think he talking about he just erratic? No, it's something else.
Right.
Erratic. The hell is you talking about?
And be talking behind his back to my, well, he was born with cocaine in the system.
And it's like, when was y'all gonna tell him that? I mean, but sometimes people need to be told straight up. Like, you might have to talk to some doctors, run some tests to get yourself situated. Well, they back. Them 2 youngest ones is something else, though. I don't know if y'all watching it. So they're back and they're trying to mend their relationship as brothers, like siblings, right? Mm-hmm. Because they basically, like, folks be trying to call everyone. The slow one be trying to call them. They ain't picking up the phone. Right. Then they be like, I don't want to talk to him. We ain't talking about shit. Mm-hmm. And, like, it's this idea of like and love, right? And I think that's real shit, right? I don't have any siblings, but there's a way to love your family and not like them. Like this, you don't necessarily have to like your family, but it is a way that you can still love them, even if it's at a distance. And I don't think they were at that point, right? Even the way they were arguing, I think that's a great example of nobody fucking listening.
Yeah.
Like they went from 0 to 1,000 where I'm like, or the idea that people can't live in their own truth. Like 2 different opinions about something can't be held in the same space.
Right.
Like that was not acceptable with that family. Like the idea that Niram feels a certain way, I feel a certain way. They are not the same. There's no way for us to coexist in that. And that's what surprised me as grown folks. That's something they weren't able to do. But them 2 youngest ones with the Fenty Beauty on and the blonde hair in the lineup, they're messy.
That nigga Fade is off the hook.
Yes, Fade and makeup, both of them are sickening. But what call a spade a spade?
Them niggas is like freaking frack.
I'm waiting for Iyanla to be like, you 2 niggas, y'all stirring the fucking pot unnecessarily, and to be the youngest. I had a moment where I'm like, who hurt y'all so bad, right? To be treating people like this so bad. So y'all go ahead and check that out. It was Iyanla's on. Actually, Iyanla's on tour. I keep missing all the tours I want to go to this summer. She already done came to Oakland, honey.
She did.
She already done came to Oakland, done came and went. She on a 30-city tour. I done missed it. I be trying to support Iyanla just as much as everybody be supporting that what's it called? Brienne Brown. Brienne, B-R-E-N, Brienne?
I don't know who that is.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. It's that white woman who be talking about vulnerability. I haven't watched it this on Netflix yet. Is Brienne Brown? Am I saying her name right?
Probably not.
Brienne. It's E at the end. Yeah, Brown.
Brene?
Oh, for sure. Fine. Her, that white woman. Like she's huge, right? She talks about vulnerability and courage. I really want to watch it, but I got to do a little bit more supporting Iyanla Van Zant before I kind of go full on Brie, because everybody keep telling me that Brienne Brown is reading everybody for fucking filth on her Netflix specials and basically tell us we ain't full of courage. We scared to be vulnerable and get past your own shit. That's just what she's basically telling us. So, but I heard she's good though. But I like to support my own. Iyanla been getting us together for a lot of years. That's all I got, Neil. What you got going on?
Happy motherfucking Black Love Matters Day. Y'all niggas thought what shit was gonna slide through.
What?
Because we didn't have an episode on June 1st. Mm-hmm. But it's 2 years in this motherfucking bitch.
Oh my God, 2 years?
2 years.
Wow.
Over 300,000. 300,000.
313.
Over 300,000 downloads in over 61 countries. Countries, my niggas.
Oh my God. What they thought they meant cities?
Yes.
Oh.
I can go cities too.
That's okay.
I can go states.
No. Countries is good.
Countries. Over 61 countries.
And we don't translate. So that means
over 300,000 downloads.
Wow. What you think about it, Neil? This your check-in. What you think?
It's a lot, right? We've been here for 2 years. It's definitely it's been a great 2 years, right? This has definitely been a therapy session. Like how we always talk about, it's been a therapy session. It's definitely been challenging as well. But when it's all said and done, like I wouldn't change it. Like I feel like it was a great 2 weeks. 2 years.
2 weeks.
It felt like 2 weeks.
It felt like 2 weeks.
Thank you for riding with us. Here's to another 2 more, 3 more,
20 more.
20 more.
Ooh, wait a minute. Abundance.
Just abundance, right? So it's like, as much as we gotten for y'all, I've hoped that y'all gotten something from us as well. And, we just really appreciate it. Let's keep it moving.
Yeah, I agree. This year felt a little different. But I haven't fully processed what that means yet. I think that's almost the same. Like the fact that we're just rolling, I feel like I've been moving quickly.
Yeah.
And I haven't had time to. Like we took in breaks, but it's taking breaks not to reflect. It's because of work and life.
Yeah.
I need a little time to reflect that.
So like even that, right? Like, and that's one of the things I want to do because I have felt like this past year has definitely been about like moving and shaking and things of that sort, and like being the fact that we need to just stop and just celebrate this because like it came so fast, it came and went so fast, right? And it was like, damn, like I was just looking through like the numbers and stuff and just looking at the stats and just being like, damn. Yeah. Man, missed our 2 years. 2 years. And this shit came by for like shit I ain't really prepared for it like that.
And I think, again, I'm so grateful for the whole community, but I know what you said before, but how much the community has poured into us, right? Like the friends and connections that we met in personally and virtual have been like irreplaceable, right? I think from like the Tam that Dance to Sir Jeffrey to Red Baron to Friday News guy, right? Julian, right? Actually, where our daughter been?
She actually left a voicemail.
Okay, look, that's what I mean. Like, I just think about these people that we know by name, and even not just our journey, but their journeys, right? And where they come, and the flow of the whole community has been so, fruitful, right? And I think back to my prayers to God and saying I want to be surrounded by a community, and I was worried because I didn't feel like I had one. And sometimes again, when you don't look around, the blessing be right in front of you, right? Like I prayed for this. Right. And God delivered it. Right. So I just hope I'm of service to you. Right. It brings back to the idea of, what I've been thinking about is this idea of radical hospitality and having radical how do I show that? Right. When I think about radical hospitality, I think about how y'all know, I ain't trying to take y'all to church.
Go ahead. Take us there. You went today.
I did go to church. We ain't talk about this.
Let me get you some church sermon.
No,
music.
I don't need church sermon. I'm going to keep it quick, right?
Okay.
But like really getting into like your love language of who you are and what you demonstrate, right? And the idea that church is not a place. Church is you, right? And how do you demonstrate, the God in you and the light in you, right? Is this through this idea of hospitality, right? But that's not enough. You got to have this radical sense of hospitality, of shifting strangers to become your friend, right? And inviting folks to your table, even if, right, maybe past or currently something didn't work out, right? Not giving that up, right? Continuously to do that, right? Because you never know when you're in the midst of other angels, right? Or you never know where God is placing somebody in your life for a reason or season, right? So I'm really just trying to be completely aware of that, and going back to the basics of just opening not only my home, but my heart, my ears, and my voice, right? Because if you really break it down, that's what God is. God is this idea of radical hospitality, or your greater being, whoever may be, radical hospitality, right? So always had his, her, whatever you believe, door open to you, no matter what. No matter how good, no matter how bad, right? Come on in. Oh, you need saving? Not a problem. Sit on down, right? And at minimum, what could I do to exchange that? Right? What could I do? Right? Again, thinking about church. What is church? Church is radical hospitality. And being out here and not having a community and not having that space to invite folks over. I've seen this podcast as a format for our home, right? Inviting folks to our kitchen table, right? And inviting folks in. So I don't know. Maybe I need to put that in my journal. This idea of radical hospitality. It just keeps coming back because I love that, right? That always was an innate part of me, even before I got deeper in my walk with God, right? But since I've got deeper in my walk with God, like I really tried to use it as a lens to say, what was God trying to serve me in that matter? When I used to love to open my home to, like, what did that mean, right? And that's when I got to the idea of, radical hospitality, right? And I think that goes back to Hebrews. Y'all help me. Chapter like 12 or 13 verses 1 to 2. I got to look it all up, but it ties into that, right? Y'all go look it up. I ain't gonna go down. Go ahead, Nero. I go down the hole. We'll have Bible study.
I told you I can go ahead and get the sermon music going. You don't gotta get
the sermon going, but
I can get the sermon music going.
It's on my heart. Black love matters. This is our form of radical hospitality.
So, just really thinking about that and like how these 2 years has went by so fast and how, we're still making moves. We y'all making moves, and it's a great thing just to see how, we're building these relationships. I also think, it's also the thing is, building these relationships and y'all not really seeing us like that. Right. And that was one of the goals of this podcast, right. Is to be like, it's always been like a test to me. Like, well, if I really got the juice, like, can I build something that's going to be in people's ears and they not really see, right? And just being that, if we can have, let's say control of the ears, but if we can have your ear, like that's what it's really about. And they're not really about, the biases of like what people look like and things of that sort. But I'm just grateful, right? I'm grateful for all the relationships. I'm grateful for the fact that, we still are still going at it. And also grateful that, we built something, right? Like this is 254 episodes of like content. Yeah. And like who can say that, right? Yeah. And that's what, it's all on said and done. Yeah. Other thing, I went running. I'm having a somewhat beef with my run coach. So
oh my goodness, they was cussing. They was not cussing, but I was like, you got to peek your head out. You're like, what is these niggas doing? What is wrong with you? Because I like came out because Mabel was barking. I was like, come on, Nero, yeah, take her. I said, who you yelling at?
You.
Wait, I'm grown. Shit. You don't yell at me. You yell at Mabel. You say that energy for your dog, honey, because you don't talk to me like that. And his run coach was like, you? I said, who the fuck is you talking? I know that run coach was like, you want to do functional attitude. I said, wait a minute.
Now y'all be over showing out in front of the company.
How did it go there? You threw me off guard. I said, you got the game fucked up.
I just said take her.
Who you talking? No, Nero. Because then you was like, take her ass. I said, what's wrong with you?
Because Maple was fucking irritating.
You just get that. You said something with a little bass in your voice. I said, hold the fuck up.
Hey, I have a very bassful voice.
I just wanted to let you know, just in case you forgot.
Very bassful voice.
And you was losing that as a bass line.
Whatever.
For something else. What your running coach say? She heard me. Did she think I'm crazy?
No. Yeah, probably.
What?
Probably.
I don't even know what I said, but it was so quick. It just came out.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about hospitality. For y'all who looking up, I know we got the Team Jesus for Christ out there. Y'all be like, it's Hebrews chapter 13 verses 1 through 2. So it's keep loving one another as brothers and sisters. Do not forget to show hospitality to strangers. For by doing so, some people have shown hospitality to angels without even knowing it. May the Lord add a blessing to the reading and the hearing of his word. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Did you go find that?
What? I know that I am walking with the Lord. I don't know why everybody, just because I swear does not mean I do not keep up on my walk with the Lord.
I was talking, Nyambi had left. And I'm thinking, like, where the hell she go?
Yeah.
And then she done came back with the Bible app.
Because, why do y'all niggas think I take this as a game? I told you I'm on a crooked path. I cuss a little. But I be reading that word.
Nyambi done pulled out the Bible app.
I read the word. I am in the readings of the word.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way. And I know some folks be in the readings with me, and they trying to see what I'm talking about, and that's what I'm talking about, saints and ain'ts. We all welcomed at this table. Go ahead.
Yeah, but she, my run coach was trying to get in my ass, and it's like, hold up, you can't. It's like you're trying to cheat me.
Cheat you?
Yeah.
Nigga, you running. What are you talking about? Cheat
I know. And that was the thing. Like, we was just having this whole, it was just a whole heated discussion on, like, nigga, you bullshit. Like, she was trying to hit me. She was trying to hit me with the nigga, you bullshitting conversation when it comes to running. And I'm like, no, I'm not bullshitting.
Well, sometimes you do.
And sometimes I'll agree to that. Like, nigga, you bullshitting. Yeah, you're right.
Don't know the difference.
You got me. I was bullshitting. I tried to get by. I'm a slick nigga. I tried to get by.
I mean, not that slick, but
I'm a slick nigga. I be trying to get by.
Okay.
But she hit me with the nigga, you bullshit. And I'm like, shit, bullshit. I'm not. Looking at your stats, I'm like, them stats are bullshit.
So you're saying the computer wrong?
Yes.
The algorithm?
Yes.
Folks love to black things on this algorithm.
They should.
Who is algorithm?
Exactly. And why you believe that nigga more than me?
Who is algorithm?
You gonna believe a motherfucking computer versus a nigga that was out there running for 16 miles?
Yeah.
Shit. Told you my hip was hurting and it was hot as hell outside.
The algorithm be knowing though.
Well, it said your heart rate, you could have been high. Bullshit.
Oh, she tested you on your heart rate. Well, then she right. It could have been.
Bullshit.
You were just scared.
I'm not scared of nothing. It was hot as fuck.
Yeah, you were scared of that heart rate getting to a place ain't never been. That's what you were scared of.
Bullshit.
Okay.
I just had
thinking she probably ain't back down.
And that's the thing. I ain't been, I've been very, I'm gonna say hyper aware, but like I've been aware since that, one incident where I almost passed out.
Yeah, because you thought you didn't have to, you thought you could drink 18 ounces of water.
No, it was not 18 ounces.
For a marathon.
It was 100 ounces.
I mean, you's a big nigga. I think I said that in the episode. Like, you gotta
100 ounces.
Yeah, you probably need them all. If you running for 10 hours,
almost took me out.
I don't know if it took you out, but you almost passed out.
Yeah, I was under that tree with them white folks.
I mean, you would have came too. I mean, yeah, okay. It wasn't a near-death experience.
It was close.
But you would have passed out probably. You would have came on back once your body regulated itself. Once it cooled down and regulated itself, it would have came on back. It would have been like a nap.
How long that would have been?
I mean, maybe 30 minutes. Somebody would have seen you.
Okay.
Was you just hiding on the trail? I thought you said you was about to
I was on the trail. I was on my way to the bathroom to the water fountain.
Oh, okay. Well, that's what she's your run coach for. Mm-hmm. Right? Like, think back to your advisor-advisee relationship in undergrad. Think back to some of your best managers at work, right? They challenge you and push you.
Yeah.
Right? And you thought, we talk about again. I can always go back to the grad school story. Oh, this is a good paper. My advisor, you did really good. I understand everything, but the stuff that's highlighted, everything was highlighted at the motherfucking title.
I hear you.
That's what she did to you.
You
said, I done did good. I done hit a goal on one of my 40 miles. I done did cute. I got a new outfit on. I drank some protein powder.
First of all, it was
some
not
caffeine.
a new outfit.
And she said, that was cute, but do better. I bet next time you'll do better.
I almost dropped her ass.
For what? The truth?
It wasn't the truth.
What did Iyanla say?
I almost dropped her ass.
No, what she say? Healing ain't pretty, but hurting is ugly. It's some ugly stuff. Look like you're hurting.
She was about to get dropped.
To who? Who's you gonna go to? Me?
Definitely not you.
Okay.
Because you even worse.
Why am I worse?
Because you don't know clinical touch.
What the hell does that mean?
Exactly.
What do you mean clinical touch? You can't be inappropriate.
Yes. Yes, you have.
Whatever.
That's why I don't even let you foam roll me. What? I'm actually Naomi to foam roll my hamstrings. Now she rubbing on my ass.
What? Explain to people what foam rolling is. It's a white event.
Not a white event.
Yes, it is.
It's an athletic event.
When you roll like balls on your body and stuff.
It's not a white event. It's an athletic event. All athletes should be foam rolling.
Oh, okay. Tell the people what it is.
It's when you lay. It's a foam roller. It's a roll made out of foam, and you lay on and you roll.
I bet the blacks can't even picture that because I can't. What is a foam on a roll? What?
It's a roll made out of foam.
That don't even make.
Okay.
So y'all, it's a PVC pipe, and then imagine you get some stuff where you go when you packing up your house, and you wrap it around the PVC pipe, and you roll it on your body, and that's supposed to help.
It is
because they ain't know what it was because I did it.
Okay. Do you see?
Or they also like rolling around on tennis balls, so they like to lay tennis balls on the ground and roll on their back on a tennis ball. White events.
It's not a white event.
Okay. How did niggas make it before?
They probably did the same thing. They probably used a rock.
Okay. We're all set here.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thank you for rolling with us. It's been 2 years.
Oh,
I was
we're
gonna,
talking about the podcast.
yeah, we was talking about all that because it was my check-in. And Naomi's is probably just gonna let this slide through. So we got to celebrate because Naomi was like, "Oh, it was 2 years.
We missed it. Keep moving.
We moved it. We missed it.
Keep moving. We'll catch it on year 3.
We'll catch it on year 3, and then niggas be listening like, where the fuck was the second year anniversary podcast? So, what do you want to get into next?
Can you start off the when they see us, Nero?
Okay.
I don't even know. Do you want to set the stage or just how you feel? I guess I can give a summary. Ava fucking DuVernay's.
I was gonna say read the text message your coworkers.
No, I'm not doing that. You are not gonna hold me. No, you playing. My coworkers be sitting. We got this group text. There's a handful of us are super woke, and it's like women who happen to be white, a couple Asian folks, Latino folks, and we got like we're actually moving from like just coworkers to actually friends, right? Like we're very close to spending time outside of we do, but just not a consistent basis. And not since this idea of radical hospitality is on my mind, I actually might reach out to them in the next week or so just to come to my house and chill. Anyway. Like, everyone was going back and forth, like, what y'all doing this weekend? What's going on? I'm like, I'm watching it was the shit, blah, blah, blah. And, like, the Asian girl, it was, like, this new Asian show. Movie on Netflix. I think it was, like, called something, definitely something maybe. It's with my boy who played on Fresh Off the Boat. What's the dad name? I love him.
Oh, I
never can figure out his name. I love him, though. And then
who name can you really figure out?
Who? Don't do that. And then also, what's that other girl? Dang, don't do that. She's an Asian comedian.
Oh.
She got...
My point exactly.
I think about that special she did when she had that leopard outfit on and she was like 40, I was going to say 40 months pregnant. Dang, I forgot it. Maybe Lisa Wank, I don't know. But them two on it, and it's like a romantic comedy. Like, it's really good. Like, really light. Just an Asian romantic comedy. Like, when is the last time you seen an Asian American romantic comedy since Crazy Rich Asians? Mm-hmm. So, I'm like, oh, yeah, I'm going to put that on my show. I'm going to watch that. I'm a fan of both of them. And then my other coworker, who was a woman who happened to be white, she was like, I'm watching When They See Us.
You talking about Ali Wong?
Ali Wong. Yeah, Ali Wong's my girl. And I'm absolutely, she just went on this whole tirade. Like, what did she say there? I almost couldn't read it all. Like, to the point where she was like, I'm watching this. I know the history. This is ridiculous. White people are out of order. The criminal system is out of order. My privilege as a white woman, I'm going to go above and beyond to educate all the white people. Like, she is laying it on. Right, and to the point where it looked like she was going episode by episode. And it looked like she stayed up. She texted me at like 3 a.m. and was like, I just finished it. I watched it all in one sitting. I'm absolutely devastated, pissed. I'm going to wake up in the morning and create a plan. I said, what? But I'd rather have friends like that, right? So, and I'm going back and forth like, all right, I'm going to watch it. The Asian girl was like, I don't know if I got the bandwidth right now. And the Asian girl was like, if I watch it, will y'all be available to debrief with me? Because I just can't sit at home alone with my dog. And I was like, all right, I'm going in. I'm watching it by the end of the week, and I'll be ready to debrief. I actually haven't even let them know I finished it yet. But I'm about to continue to send a group test. Like, it's done. When are we all meeting over martinis to figure out how we're taking over the world?
Fuck martinis. You need to meet over.
Because that's what it was. Because the woman who happens to be white was the first one to watch it. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to watch it. Let me know what type of alcohol I need to drink with it. And she was like, what? I said, that's not an event you just watch sober. Like, you can't. Is it a wine? Is it white liquor or brown liquor or, a beer? Edible. Yeah, an edible or something. She was like, it's a brown and an edible type of movie. I said, oh, God. And she ain't never lied. But anyway, what you thought about that going back and forth, Nero? You couldn't have that conversation with your coworkers, huh?
No, I couldn't.
Well, but it gave me that gratitude, right? It gave me a gratitude for where I work, the appreciation for these types of conversations and awareness, right? And people knowing their shit, right? Especially white people who understand the privilege that they have and try to use their privilege for a little bit good, right? And also, I think she even get more icing from me because she understands the intersection of the privilege she has as a white person and a woman, right? So she understands that intersection between white supremacy and patriarchy and how they benefit each other. And if we need to take, it's not one or the other. You have to take the whole monster now, right? And in doing that, she realizes the privilege that she's going to lose in that, right? Like, a lot of white folks ain't willing to come to terms with that or say that shit out loud. So, I always appreciate our relationship right there, right? And if I'm practicing radical hospitality, I need to extend my table to invite a variety of voices to it. And I think she made the list. Anywho, When They See Us, for y'all who don't know, who've been under that rock, I need y'all all to go watch this by the end of the week. It's going to be hard. So if you don't drink or you don't have edibles, make sure you have a lot of water. Stay hydrated because you're gonna be crying. You're gonna be crying. You're gonna be sweating. You're gonna be frustrated.
You're
You're
gonna
gonna
be
be yelling
angry.
at the TV. So stay hydrated. That's
Y'all might need to put. You know how back in the day with the Nintendo Wii, they had like that rubber thing that go around the remote. So if you throw it against the TV, it won't break.
off.
It bounce
Yeah,
off.
you're gonna need that.
You might need that on your remote now.
Just prepare yourself. This is not something you just go in after work, right? You just don't come home after work when your work closed and sit on the couch and have it in the background make dinner.
No.
This is something I also suggest you maybe don't watch it alone. So if you live by yourself, have someone on text message or someone that you can FaceTime to process with. Feel free to send us emails too. But anyway, this is a docuseries that Queen Ava DuVernay did, Queen of the Golden Hour, highlighting and telling the truth, right? I think that's the biggest thing. She's a truth teller, right? Of the story of the Central Park Five, which was Antron McCray, Yusuf Salam, am I saying this right?
Salam.
Yeah, Salam, Corey Wise, Raymond Santana, and Kevin Richardson. These were 5 babies, Black and Latinx, who were accused of like the beating and the rape of a white woman in Central Park, right? And the thing is, they didn't do it. And the way it depended on where you were located geographically, what type of exposure you had, like the media just did a spraying of these boys, right? Like they took them and their families through the ringer, right? This is when Donald Trump put all these ads out, right? And more so importantly, the sorry ass like DA and the detectives who were behind it. At that time, you have to understand, New York was New York's rough now, but New York in the 80s, in the early 90s, was rough, right? Like, they was the murder capital, right? People getting shot up, done up, raped, murdered, rape, and pillaged. Like, New York was a rough place at that moment because it was so many crooked cops, so many gangs, people in cahoots with each other. Like, it was just a rough period. And honestly, NYPD just was looking for a win. White people
or
were
ass
looking
whooping,
for
like LAPD.
Of course, right? I'm talking about more of the detectives, prosecutors, like more of the career politician folks. They was just looking for a win to get their name out there, right? Go up in ranks, make more money. The cops was just on some white supremacy bullshit, not understanding the community, shouldn't have been in that job, overworked, all that stuff, underpaid, right? That's where that shit came from. And so they actually created this whole narrative around these young men, right? And from this narrative, they were wrongfully detained, wrongfully, interrogated, coerced into like these statements of what is the word? I'm looking for the more formal word.
Statement of guilt.
Of guilt, right? And outlining it with leading questions, then going to trial. Right, we didn't even get into the dirtiness that probably was the jury, right? Like, I'm sure it was some dirty shit going on that jury. The people who were selected, right? And then these boys was convicted of it, right? They all served their time, then come out, right? And then the person who actually did it come forward and say, I done did it. Right? And I like I said, I remember hearing about that, but I feel like that was very much in our communities. That happened in the early 2000s. That should have made, and I'm sure it made national news, but it should have been on national news as long as this news cycle is running.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it was like an hour. These folks have been acquitted. They got a settlement going on with their life. Right? But this really broke, like, this 4-part series just broke down each segment of that. And
but even talking about the settlement, right? The settlement didn't come until a decade afterward. A decade afterwards.
After they were acquitted.
Yeah.
So they were acquitted like 2002, 2003, and I didn't think they'd get that settlement to like 2013, 2014, which was ridiculous. I don't know, Aaron, what you want to do? You want to take it episode by episode? Or like, so the first episode, when I think it focused more so on like the brutality of the police department. Right, and the dirtiness of giving us a little background about these boys, and then the actual event of them like being arrested and detained. What you think about the first episode now? What's some key takeaways?
Like, I really saw myself in that shit, right? Like, it's I want to say hood kids, but it's just kids. It's urban kids doing urban shit, right? Yeah. Everybody know each other or somewhat know each other, know of each other. You see a big crowd of motherfuckers going on. You shit, I want to know what the fuck going on too.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, that's like the true like definition of like wrong place, wrong time bullshit.
Absolutely. All of them was in the wrong place on real time.
Yeah.
Period. So they were all kind of going through the park and, basically they were almost accusing them of like, just disturbing the peace. And, I'm not saying they went up in there quiet, but again, they doing kid shit. I think one of the quotes is, boys will be boys until you're black.
Yeah.
Right? Because if that was a group of white boys, it never would have been that simple.
No.
But what they did with these boys, they were with a group of 30 boys.
Yeah.
It was just kind of going through, and basically what happened, 30 boys got whittled down to these 5 because they didn't have like the advocacy, basically.
Yeah.
So I think the only parent who came in was Yusuf.
Yeah.
Like all the other boys' parents, like either couldn't be there, didn't understand the implications, was playing along with the police, language barriers, all this stuff was going on, right? Because the police was using dirty tactics. They was talking to these boys who was minors, unaccompanied, leading questions, right? You know what I'm saying? Not feeding them, like being questioned for like 24 to 48 hours straight, like all this dirty shit. And I appreciate who was Yusuf's mom, who came in and was like, my child is underage. It's like, well, his legal ID says that's YND. She said, I'm telling you,
right.
My child is fit. The Felicia Hoffman had the nerve talking about where his birth certificate.
Right.
Bitch, I don't walk around with his birth certificate in his back. I am his mother.
And that nigga is 15.
Right. And she was like, well, what thinks you have the right to come up in here? She said, I'm his fucking mother. That's what gives me the right. And she literally walked in here and grabbed his ass and left.
And pulled him out.
Right. Like, it was just something how the police involved just didn't think our kids had no right. These are children. Right? And asking them leading questions. And who was it? Antron, when his father finally came and realized what was going on, the police had the nerve to pull the daddy aside to talk about, well, if you want to get him home.
Or the other thing is like, well, do your job know you got a record?
Yeah.
like,
Trying to use that stuff against him, right?
Yeah.
It was just horrible, right? Then I think about Raymond, who had the language gap. So his dad had to go to work, so his grandma there, she don't speak no English, right? She don't know what's going on. Right. And I know the heartbroken scene is when Raymond told his dad, and his dad was like, what the fuck is going on? Rape? What? And he was like, don't worry, I got it.
I got it. I made
you
a deal.
You got it?
You ain't got shit.
You made a deal? You're 15. You don't make shit.
Right.
You barely make your fucking bed, let alone a goddamn deal. Right? Like, it was just back to back to back. And even going back to Yusuf and Corey, I think Corey was the one that hit me the most. Because Corey wasn't even with the shit.
No.
He literally was trying to just support his friend.
Yeah.
Right, and go down to that jail. Because as soon as he did that, I was like, what you going, like,
right.
No, you go tell his mama.
You don't go down to the jail.
Yeah, you go run tell his mama.
You go to their mama.
Yeah.
This is for all the kids that's listening in the backseat with their parents.
With their friend, yeah. You don't.
If the police pick up your friend,
you don't go with the police.
And they don't pick you up. Yeah. You don't go with the police.
You don't go with the police.
You run home. You tell their mama.
You run home, tell their mama, give them all the details.
And you better be running hard and breathing hard when you get there.
You go tell them when, where, you eat, you ear hustle, see what the fuck they were talking about, question them all, ask. If you can get an eye at that badge, that name, that's the shit you want to get up. Look at that car. What's the number on that car? Your job is to information gather and take it all back to their parents. And you stay out the cut, right? Mm-hmm. Because at least you got an eye line to it. So as soon as he did that, I was like, shit. And even Yusuf was like, oh, like you could say he was a little unsure, but he was shook up. Yeah, but he was shook up. He ain't know what to do. It was, but his Corey's was so, because he got the most time because he was the oldest. Like, right. It was just so.
And they charged him as an adult.
Charged him.
He even go to juvie. He went to big boy jail.
With the real killers and them,
right?
Like with the real ones who do need to be yoked up, right, and talked to. It was just so much. Right. And then we get to episode 2 was about the trial. Then we talk about access, y'all. When I tell y'all you need lawyers. Oh, actually, before we get to that, how did you feel as a parent? Like, I feel like this is equipping me. Like, if I ever have kids, like, y'all have to tell y'all children what to do. Mm-hmm. You have to tell them not to talk to the police. Right. Yes. And it's such a hard message, right? Because I think in school, they're like, oh, police, firemen, they're
police
friendly.
Is fine.
You have to, if you have a black son and you watch this, and you do not start having conversations with them, by the time they talking, you need to start having some conversations with them. Lawyer. Don't get me wrong. You're not going to give them the whole thing, but you need to bring awareness to their blackness. And I say that's even more if you're in a white neighborhood. You need to bring keen awareness to their blackness.
Am I under arrest? No. Where can I go?
Yeah.
Lawyer,
my mom.
Lawyer,
I'm scared.
My mama.
I'm scared. Lawyer, my mom. I'm scared for my life. Lord, like, on repeat, right? Like, I think that's the piece that the type of equipment you have to have, right? And I think it's all the kids, but especially black men, you have to equip them with.
And I think it's fucked up because after they signed all this shit, waive their rights, and it's like, yeah, you need to get your son a lawyer. Like, what the fuck? What type of bullshit?
You need to take him home. Get your son a lawyer. And then I think that's why I come to episode 2. Money talks, y'all. The criminal system is very expensive. The criminal system is not about justice. The criminal system is about who can get the best lawyer that can tell the best story.
Right.
That's what the criminal system is about.
It really is.
Who has the most funds, resource, or access to legal assistance to tell the best story and spin? And isn't that heart-wrenching?
It is. It's not about justice.
It's not about justice.
It never has been about
justice.
It's
not about right or wrong. It's not about what happened. It's none of that. It's about who can spin the story the best, right? Who can get the most certain type of media exposure, right? Who knows who's in conjunction with who, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was just so heartbreaking to see it because half of them had lawyers who wasn't even studying criminal law.
Right. Like one of them was like a divorce attorney.
Right. And I think that also speaks to it in our community, right? Like we need to get like, and I know we're talking about being an entrepreneur, but shit, we need some black lawyers and shit. Like, shout out to who, right? But we need more black lawyers in our community, right? Or people who are willing to advocate and show these types of things because that's what it's about, right? But even they had a solid case. Even with that solid case, it didn't matter, right? I think their case was tried in the media and not in the court.
Yeah, I agree.
That's what went wrong, right? Because what do you mean you don't have any physical evidence? You don't have any evidence tying these boys to this except the fucking timeline that y'all created in these piss poor ass confessions by 10-year-olds? And 10-year-olds who, how do you take the word of, I ain't gonna give them that. How you gonna take the word of a 14, 15, 16-year-old on a murder and a rape and pillage where half of them couldn't read, half of them can't wash their ass, right? But you're going to take them word for word of how they did this. Meanwhile, all the shit is inconsistent.
Right.
All these stories is different. No timelines is connecting.
And they was whooping their ass. Are we not going to talk about that? How they was whooping the boys' ass up in there?
Like what?
They smacked the shit out of Corey multiple times and said, you going to tell this story.
A grown-ass adult on the jury. Like, even if you like, well, something had to do with it, right?
And how they changed the story so many times. Like, y'all just changed it the second time. Y'all want me to say something else? And it's like, well, where are the rest of these tapes at?
Yeah. Break all this shit together. We need to watch it all together, right? But the lawyers didn't pull that, didn't have the resources to do it. Like, it was just so hyper. I think the Latino kid lawyer said it. Like, they already tried this. Honey, they already got the story. They already got the story they want you to tell and what it looks like, right? Then I think that also goes to the state, right? Any state entity that you're going against in trial, they pull up ranks. They're all friends, right? So that's anything with the police department, any commissioners. That's even like with internal investigation or like ethics or anything with that, right? That's the state investigating the state. It does the state no justice for them to come back and say something was wrong. Think to all these trials. When have you ever seen when an internal system goes back and check itself and they say, oh yeah, we fucked up, not the other person?
Right.
When has that ever happened? In favor, especially of a minority.
Never.
It just doesn't. Right? Like, and I'm even saying I'm jumping ahead because they did like a report at the end when the guy confessed and somehow they were like, oh, we didn't mess up. You did fuck up.
Right.
It ain't messed up. You fucked up. Right, when I should have been a clear-cut apology. And it wasn't. Right, even the one who prosecuted this bitch went on to write fucking Harry Potter novels and shit.
Murder mysteries and shit.
Are you serious?
Like, that's crazy how she got to live her fucking life.
Not just her, that whole crew of people got to just live their fucking life.
Why these boys is up in there and they had the nerve to be like, well, they admitted, yeah, after you whooped their ass and then feed them for 48 hours and shit. The hell you expect they supposed to say? When you keep telling them y'all can go home, once you just say what you want us to say.
You call white people racist, they fall to pieces.
Right.
Fuck. They start talking about all they racist anti shit. Oh, my papa did that. It was just, So they did this. They went to trial. And I think that was the hardest episode to watch at the end when they did the verdict. And they said guilty. And I said, Jesus. And then what would you say the third was their time in jail and like coming home?
Yeah.
For everyone except Corey. They saved Corey for last.
For the last one.
But they just talked about like their experiences in jail and what it was to adjust back home. What you thought about that, Nero?
It's the truth, right? Like, as a person who like worked in the criminal system and like I can like vouch for it, right? Like seeing the shit they was going through like juvie, or even the stuff that Corey was going through, like that's the shit that be going on in there. And like
them boys did what, 4 to 6 years between
no,
all of
like
them?
6 to 14 years.
Yeah, I know Corey did the 14,
Yeah.
but on average the under
Like 6.
did 6.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
And even it's still a fucking
such
long
a
time.
impressionable years, right? So, but the ages of what, 14 and 20?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And I think the fucked up part is like, so they're going through all this, and then like you serve your time, and like now you got to register as a sex offender.
And you really fucked on that.
So you're a felon, you're a sex offender. You're like, where the fuck you gonna get a job
Where you
at?
gonna go?
A, you can't get a job around kids.
Nope.
And then B, where you gonna get a permit? Where you gonna get education from? So like all that stuff is just all fucked up. So I really just think like the whole system is fucked.
As I said, they ain't even try to, with the lawyers, try to write something out without it be expunged when they come out or after
No.
25 or some shit like that.
No. No.
That was heartbreaking. But like I keep going back to, the person who hit me the hardest was Corey. So go to Corey. They flash forward to Corey. He had to spend 14 years in jail because they tried him as an adult. Like, fuck, they couldn't even get that adjusted because it was 16.
They tried him as an adult, put his ass in the big boy jail.
In the big boy, and he was such. The young man who played the young version, actually all the versions of him were amazing, but that young boy who played the young version of him, when he was crying on that stand and was reaching for his mama and Niecy was reaching over, I said, I can't take it. Like, I think that's the moment where I would have turned into mine. I'm like, I'm killing every white person I see. I'll see you soon, son, because I too will be in jail. Right? Like, how? What? I don't even have children. All I have is Mabel. And I get a little sad when I step on her tail. And she whimper. When I tell you these boys was crying, their hearts, and as a parent, there's nothing you can do. Nothing. And then when Niecy visited them in jail, and she was like, could you put a little money on my books, Ma? I'm talking $5 to $10. And she said, I have nothing to give you. I've been a sold ass. I don't know what I would do to make it, but I would have to, like, how?
I think the other thing, like, I'm backing up a bit, like that scene where there was like, oh, you Corey? I lied on you, man. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And he's like,
What?
well, I lied on you too.
Jesus.
It's like, I lied on both of y'all.
Oh my God.
And just sitting there, it's like, y'all are fucked.
Fucked. And this is outside. These is babies, right? So I ain't gonna even bring them into it. But it's something about black people sticking together, right? Because white people stick the fuck together.
Don't they?
This is outside them babies. That's not the expectation for the baby. This is a side conversation. Completely separate this from the babies, right? But niggas, we gotta do better.
Like, the tactics
and it's
ain't
not even
changed.
about. And the thing is, it's not even about lying. It's about shutting the fuck up.
Shut the
Sometimes
fuck up.
It's not even about lying, right? So it ain't about making up some shit you don't know. You know what the fuck they're searching for.
Right.
Play fucking stupid. Think about the Lindas in the world.
Right. I don't know.
What are you talking about? Are you trying to ask me a leading? What answer are you looking for me to
What
say?
answer are you looking
that's how
for?
you throw white cops off, right? Because they can't have that shit on the record.
No. What
you
answer?
can't. What answer are you looking for me to say?
What answer
Then they
you
got to
looking
go
for?
all the way back. I'm not
Right.
looking for you to say anything. Just tell the truth. Oh well, that's how you go when you don't answer the question. Well, it feels like you're trying to get me to say a certain answer. Like, what is the story you trying to build? Like that. We don't know that type of hidden curriculum because that's what the whites do.
Yeah.
Because let's believe whites stand in. They either cover for their friend, or they stand in,
Or they shut the fuck up.
or they shut the fuck up, right? Or they get enough information to then pass on to the friend to be like, child, I asked them. You know, white people get bold. What am I here for?
And the thing is, you already know they don't know shit if they ask you questions.
If they're asking you, that means they don't know. Because if they know, they don't need your nigga. I just get so.
They don't need your nigga answers.
They don't need your nigga answers, because that's what you are. They don't need your nigga answers. If they know, they don't need no corroboration.
No.
If they already know the answer, this is what they're doing. They're trying to build a case, niggas. Right? Like that, I think that's the piece that I was triggered. Like, we as a community got to just do better. And again, it's not about lying. But you shut the fuck up sometimes. Look, do you know about it's what are you talking about? Can you answer the question again?
Lawyer, work
So,
for my
but
mama.
not even lawyer. Like, I'm saying if you I'm saying even with these boys, right? So nobody was connected. Who are those people you talking about?
Right. I don't know none of them.
Huh? Oh, what are you trying to say they did?
Right.
I ain't never heard of that.
Who that?
But that's broader, right? That's if you think about like it's just deep. And black, we got to get better at this. It's the thing is we don't speak that code.
No.
Right, so anything the police tell you about going home quickly, safely, I'm just trying to get the story. I'm a neutral party. I'm just trying to figure out which way. They're fucking liars.
Right.
That is not the fucking truth. And a lot of time, if there's a brown person on the other end, they're trying to get that motherfucker. So wake the fuck up, niggas. Right? Or another, another tackle I like to say. I like to get so jumbled. I'm like, maybe it was that. Or maybe it was the other thing. I don't remember. Do you need me to remember clearly?
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's the piece and when I say that, white people, and I've seen it time and time again. And the thing is, white people don't even got to be friends.
No.
I done seen white people gang. Gang better than we do in the hood. Okay? And I think that's the piece that gets me sometimes. Like you taught your own self into your shit, right? And then the thing is, they're gonna put your monkey ass up there,
right? And they're gonna use everything you say.
If you're ever in a situation where you're involved, like with police or like investigations, be it at work or anything, and if you the same nigga who they keep calling up and they ain't calling nobody else, that's because you giving them everything they want. You're not helping. You're not helping because the niggas who not going with their story and not repeating it over and over again, or again, it's not about lying, right? But it's like, I'm not about to do your fucking job, right? I think that's what I do to police. It's not my job to be the fucking investigator for you. Don't ask me questions that you can go fucking look up or you should know, right? It's not my job to give you information. Do I got something you need? I don't know. Maybe I do. I can check, but I ain't sure. Right, you know what I'm saying? If you're that person, right? And I say that from like the biggest place of love, right? So if you in that situation, I know we're talking about police, right? But it's levels to this, right? If you the same nigga they keep calling, you falling for the trap. Right? I ain't never been called more than once on anything. Look, I done been through my own stuff and my own shit. The people like, no more questions, Nyambi. No more questions, wench. I know that's what they wanted to say.
Right.
You stupid wench. No more questions.
But it's not even that, right? Yeah. It's the whole thing of like, and I want to bring it back to slavery, but that's what it is. It's the whole notion of like pinning you against somebody.
Yes.
Like they always about that divide and conquer. And as a community, like we so damn quick to get divided.
Yeah.
Well, such and such said this.
And maybe this. And this.
Well, I ain't said that. This nigga was the one with the fucking weed and guns. Well, damn.
Shut the fuck up.
Oh, who had the weed and guns?
Who asked your ass about that?
Who asked you about the weed and guns?
That's where the idea of no snitch are coming from, right? And I think we changed this into when niggas killing and yes, if somebody's a killer, we ain't talking about that, y'all.
Right.
Killers whooping on ass. You know what I'm saying? No, we're not talking about this. Y'all know what the fuck we're talking about. The shit that's going on here. How they use your words twisted around. That's what we're talking about.
Right.
When the police is not there to serve you.
Or they put you in a weird predicament and say some shit,
it ain't where it need to be.
It's suspect shit.
If you in the room and you be like, this shit is bogus, the police is turning this shit around, like, that's when you need to wake up and be present. And I think sometimes we don't wake up and be present because we scared. But the thing is, you really should get scared if you don't do what you're supposed to do, right? Because if they did it to that person,
they're going to do it to you.
They're going to do it to you or yours eventually, right? I get riled up. What was the last episode? It was about Corey and kind of them bringing it together.
Yeah, it was
Corey
about Corey
was heartbreaking. He actually interacted with the person who did all the murders.
Yeah.
If that ain't divine intervention, I don't know what it is.
And how he was like, are you, like, you have faith. And like, I was looking at Twitter and it's like, somebody asked Ava's like, is this for drama? Like, this shit can't be.
No, I think that's true. No, that's true. He interacted with that man.
And Ava was like, no, like,
I remember that.
This is the closest to what he said happened when he was like, do you have faith, you strive, and all this other stuff.
I remember he did that interview in 2012 and he said this like Latino guy kept coming to like asking him the questions. I'm like, yeah, I remember we fought, like, but you still got your head up in here. And he was like, I just thought, he had a come to Jesus moment, right? Like, well, yeah, okay, more power to you. But that's what it was. That's some real. Corey hit my heart.
Yeah.
Corey, when I think about Corey, I break down inside because even the way that, first of all, Corey's story, right? His life. I ain't gonna call it his life.
Right.
Right? And the actor and the way in which he brought that to, I just melted. Because Corey, all he wanted was the love and support and appreciation of his family, his friends. That's all he wanted.
That's all he wanted.
Right. And it even hurt my heart when we were on he was on trial and they told him to read. And
he's like, I can't read this. They wrote it for me. I can't read.
Or when they told her, what's the side profile called?
Oh,
Profile.
profile. It's called profile.
I said, come with me, baby. I'm about to teach you. I'm about to show you the world, honey. And shout out to Niecy Nash. She played the shit out of Precious Mama. She had to be channeling Monique for that one.
She had to something.
Come
right?
on, Niecy Nash. When Mama was a drug dealer out the house, had transgender daughter, didn't appreciate, so caught up in the daughter that you done lost your
lost
other
son. Right.
Let your daughter be your daughter. And the disrespect, right? That the venom that came out her mouth, right? And I think that talks about to that transphobia in the black community, right? All the shit you got going on. You really concerned about that?
Right.
It was just so much going on that it was just exhausting. I almost had a moment where I had to snicker a little bit when Niecy Nash came back in her Koji best.
Oh my God. She was like, I done found the Lord.
She said, I done found it. And y'all know what I love to say. I ain't know he was lost. But welcome, Saint.
Corey was getting a rigmarole. All he wanted to do was try to get back like closer to home, and they just kept putting his ass further and further away.
And just even through all of that, his still connection, he remained with his mama. In that last part when she was like, I found the Lord. I'm sorry for everything I did to you. Right? You know what I'm saying? They both kind of come to terms, and they like hugged each other, and they just kept like, she's like, let me pray for, like, and when she was dragging her out and they was dragging him out, I think that's the scene that got me.
Also, like, I think another thing that was like, I want to say swept under the rug, but if you didn't notice it, like how long his ass stayed in solitary.
And how that had to
and like and how that has an effect on the mind.
Yeah,
is a big,
because humans aren't meant to be in isolation for that long period of time.
And how he was getting fucked with so much that solitary was the only thing he can be in, right?
Yeah,
I thought that was like the fucked up part, right?
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like it's so much corruption that happens in the
prison system,
in the prison system, right? Because like, you know, Naomi's like, so this nigga did this shit for a Snickers, and like being like, yes, and how fucked up it is to have witnessed that shit too. Like I done seen a bunch of people get touched for a Snickers bar.
Yeah.
And how fucked that it is that candy is fucking currency in the prison system.
Somebody's ass, if not more.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a lot. Yeah, you're right. I wonder how that even affects him to this day, right? Like, what is he allow around other big crowds of people or crowds of people? Because he was there for years in solitary confinement, right? Because it was the only space. Because the thing, everybody was after him. So the white boys were after him. The righteous black boys was after him, right? Everybody was after him. He had no sense of peace, right? And it goes back to how like the media shares a narrative,
right? And
whatever that narrative is, folks believe instead of digging deep down into it, right? It's still to this day. Some white people, I shouldn't say just white people, some folks believe, colonizers believe that these boys were still involved in it. And what's their thing? Oh, they didn't rape her, but they helped beat her up. And it was just a sixth person.
Like, what type
sir, no. That's not the story.
That man raped her.
These boys weren't involved at all. That man, Mateus, was a serial rapist / sociopath, and he did that for fucking fun. And he admitted it. That is the end, beginning, and middle of the story.
Right.
These 5 boys had nothing to do with this. Period. The only thing they did was rip and run through Central Park. Period.
Oh my God. What's wilding?
Oh my, wilding. 2 wilding boys and animals. Like, y'all, we're going to have to start using some white words against white people.
What's wilding?
And all I can think of Nick Cannon, like wilding out.
Yeah.
Just having joy.
Yeah, wilding out.
It's just having fun.
Yeah.
It was a lot. It was a hard watch, but a soul filling. It was all of it at the same time. Heart wrenching, soul filling, a reminder of history, a call to action again. A don't you forget. Sharp reminder. Vote. Watch out for each other.
Yeah.
Voice concerns, right? Learning how we have to stick together.
Be an advocate, yeah.
How to be an advocate and ally for each other. Just taking care of each other in our communities, right? And depending on nobody else but us to do that. It was just, watch it when they see us, right? And my heart even goes out to the folks with brown babies. How? Like, this has to be a mandatory watch for them.
Yeah.
Multiple times. Like, they have to see this. Right. This happens after you give them the talk and you say, this is why I gave you the talk because I don't want this to happen to you. Right. And what does that do to the baby's mental? That's why you gotta have therapy.
Yeah. It's goddamn. I don't know what the hell I'm gonna talk to my therapist in 2 weeks about. This is just
really
gonna be all about
was that
this.
triggering for you?
Yeah, because like I said, I've had my fair share of being slammed on police, hot ass police hoods.
Yeah.
Being taken downtown, or being in the holding cell, being investigated.
Yeah.
Like, it was a lot, right?
Yeah.
It was just a lot.
And how little moves can change the whole trajectory of your life.
Mm-hmm.
Very little moves. I don't know, Nir. I don't know if I got enough energy to talk about anything else, Nir. Y'all let us know what y'all think.
Leave voicemails, shoot emails.
Y'all takeaways. Please watch it, though. Ava did a great job. And, again, I'm just still sending healing energy out to those involved in the Central Park 5 and all their families.
Yeah.
Right? Because this is generational effects. And it's not going to end with their generation, right? Like, it's so much. For the most part, right, a lot of them have their own, like, nonprofits to help other folks navigate through this. But I'm sure at night when it get quiet, it's a lot of stuff that's going on, too.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sorry. Like, I don't even know what to say. Yeah, we're going to close this out.
Yeah, as always, to submit your Black Love story, go to blacklovematters.com. To submit a question for Kitchen Table Talk, shoot us an email, blacklovematters@gmail.com. And to leave a comment about anything we talked about, head on over to the website. We got that email, we got that voicemail, and that's at 508-784-1111. That's 508-784-1111. Talk to y'all later. Remember,
love is ever evolving. Peace.
Peace.